Sin's growing more and more, leaving folks shattered and grieved. See, the devil wanna scatter and deceive, and God's no love, he'll leave you battered to bleed. Every day getting sadder, we need the love of Jesus Christ instead of another platter of weed. I pray the Lord has mercy on my soul. Sometimes I find me climbing up the ladder of greed, trying to get my square right, but the Lord said I'll be more blessed if I go ahead and scatter my seed. So I'm trying to do everything he tells me, instead of saying that it really don't matter to me. See, the tongue is a boastful thing. It could either bless or be full of chatter indeed. Lord, help me say the right thing instead of hearing my mouth running off full of flattering speed. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son so that we could be saved. He died on a tree for you and me. He healed my disease and he set me free. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son so that we could be saved. He died on a tree for you and me. He healed my disease and he set me free. See, I'm avoiding all the streets and crimes by reading my Bible, and I'll be working on these beats and rhymes. But I still make plenty mistakes. I do get tempted to start packing heat and grind. Rebuke the devil to release my mind. Asking is given. The Lord told me seeking I'll find. If I knock, then the door will be open. All praise to God. See, his grace is so sweet and kind.
Childhood, South Central Los Angeles, different parts of LA. In the 80s, you had most of your gang-related activity. Pretty much when you walk out your front door, you can find anything to really get into trouble. Even going to school, you're faced with all kind of decisions as it relates to choices that you have to make, fighting just to get home. You're considered a gang member just by the neighborhood that you live in. You may not necessarily even claim, but because you live on a certain block, you're declared part of that gang or part of that neighborhood. And so you would literally have to fight beginning elementary school just to get back and forth. So you had to choose every day what you were going to do. Did you want to be accepted? And then if your family was one of the lower privileged families, you made decisions on selling drugs or getting into other activities. And it was rough.
What was your family like?
My family, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I mean, I had a pretty good family. My dad was a Navy SEAL. My mom worked for the school board. So if we were lacking, us as children, me and my brother, we never really knew we were lacking. But everybody else was into underworld activities, and it was just a thing to do. It was accepted. And so we easily, 7, 8 years old, got into illegal activity. I stole my first joint from my dad, and that's how I got introduced to marijuana. We had alcohol all around the house. Friday night was fight night. My dad would have company, and that's really how we got introduced into alcohol, marijuana, and those different things. Well, you had all sorts of organized crime. My family, a lot of my cousins, uncles, were in the lifestyle, so it wasn't that hard. But I grew up watching it. I got enticed by the fast money. It seemed like the guys with the cars and the clean clothes were the ones who always had the ladies or were popular around the neighborhood. And so it was like a force that just kind of pulls you towards that. Music played a big part. All the hip-hop music and rap and everything that you listen to just kind of keyed in on the fast life, quick bucks, hanging out and partying. And so very quickly, I wanted to know how to make some of that fast money. I wanted to know what everybody was doing, what people were buying. And so all my life I've been a studier. Just at that particular time, the study was the wrong thing. And I studied some of the drug dealers in the neighborhood, Some of the people that were making money, I watched them, I followed them, I wanted to see what they were doing, and I got a summer job, made a few dollars, and decided to what we call flip my check. So I went to a family member, gave him all that I had, which was about $400, and that's how I got started. I was about 13 years old, so I had been selling drugs at that time since I was about 9. So at that particular time, things really got good. It was kind of thriving, if you will, in that world, and people were becoming jealous. So we started carrying guns. You had people that were trying to rob you. My friend was doing really, really good. He was about 19. He had everything that you could possibly imagine. But in that life, you create enemies because you choose not to deal with everybody. We were coming out of a party that night, and at that time we were dressed in the troop gear, and he had on blue and white troop, so they thought that he was a gangbanger. And a guy walked up to him and shot him point blank, looked at me, and walked away. And I picked him up and held him. I was screaming, kind of like in shock. It was the first time that I had really seen somebody murdered that I knew personally right in my face. And I watched him take his last breath. It really did something to me. It just kind of changed the way that I looked at life, and how you could just take my friend so easy and just walk away and not think anything of it. And I think just watching him bleed and watching him take his last breath took the value of life right away from me, to the point where I felt I had something to prove, and to rekindle his spirit and to rekindle his life. I was destined to be rich in the underworld and not let anybody take anything from me or do what they did to him. It had a bad impact on
me.
Well, after seeing that, I became very desensitized. I really had no care for anybody. I really started using alcohol really strong then, smoking a lot of marijuana to try to calm me down, because I was angry. I wasn't just angry because of what I saw, but I was angry because I felt the world now owed me something. I definitely was looking for the individuals that did it. I never found them. And more, every day, I just became more callous. People were trying to rob me. Dealing in the drug game, you're dealing with people that use drugs, always trying to get over on you. Being one of the youngest people out there, it seemed like everybody else that was living a life was a lot older than me. Always trying to take advantage of me. And so it made me very callous, made me very hard. I didn't want to be categorized as a punk or a coward. So I did whatever I needed to do to make sure that individuals wouldn't get over on me. My crime was interesting. I had an individual who was selling drugs for me out of a Domino's pizza. It got to the point where we were only selling half ounces and above, and I would drop it off and come back later and pick up the money. Well, at this point, he didn't pay when he was supposed to pay, so I had him beat up. I beat him up a couple of times, and he still didn't pay. And the word was getting out. I got frustrated, so we went in to the Domino's Pizza, staged it like a robbery, and we took the individual's life and a witness, and that's what led me into the California Youth Authority.